How are you guys? We have, I think, few more people we are expecting. I know it's end of the year and everybody's and I mean, unlike what I said last time, even though end of the year is where there is opportunity and you can kind of find more deals, if you are in a position to dedicate your time to your family, go do that. Just unwind, relax. You don't always have to hustle because there is opportunity. There is always opportunity. Okay. I'm not trying to contradict myself, but in fact, what I'm trying to tell you is because we are on the topic of 2025 to this morning, I mean this afternoon, I want you guys to know that you want to be prepared. And one of the things about preparation is you need to be relaxed. Okay, so if you need to relax, unwind, and be ready for next year, just use this time to relax. Don't worry about hustling. Don't worry about doing things that you don't want to do. But if you have time, if you are in a position, if you are new, and if you are looking to take off uh, early in the next year, then prepare. Now is a great time. And yeah, I mean it's a small crew today, and I mean we can probably answer. I thought Armando sent me some stuff. I thought Armando was here, but he's not. I won't be on the call this morning. I'm currently working on this rescue mission. Oh wow.
He sent me something about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He's plan in place.
He sent me something.
Torture and death threats by a family member who has BPD, hallucination, psychotic episode. Oh my God, this is crazy. Okay. Well, hope Armando can figure whatever the problem is out. I mean, my best wishes for him. He can't attend today because he has some, I mean, uh, I don't want to put everybody in a depressing mode, but he has something very difficult going on in his life. He's dealing with that. Anyhow, that's what he shared with me. But again, we are a small crew today, and I know we are also streaming this, but what do you guys want to talk about? I know we have plans to talk about 2025 and what I'm doing. Uh, but I kind of want to do two separate things. One is I'll share what I'm doing for the next year, and I want someone to discuss what their plans are, and we can kind of derive their mission off of what they're thinking about doing. And let's all help whoever it is plan their 2025. So I'll start first. So Jada and I have big plans for next year, and we are preparing. I think we almost spent last 6 months preparing for 2025, because any new business you start is going to take 6 to 12 months just in the preparation alone, and you need to somehow find a way to monetize during the preparation, but it's hard. I'm not going to lie to you. So what Jada and I have been doing is we are setting up a uh, brokerage for mortgages, all kinds of mortgages, conventional, VA, FHA, and all the way to hard money and DSCR. So, but we are kind of starting reverse. We are starting with DSCR. I'm already a hard money lender, so I can support those loans. And then we will come down to conventional and other type of lending. So at the moment, we do not offer conventional and FHA and VA lending, but eventually we will. So at the moment, we are only focusing our efforts, and there is a huge set of people that are looking to invest in real estate and hold on to properties and rent them out. There is, of course, unlimited people that are trying to do that. So we are basing our strategy off of them first. So what that includes is three or four things. One is, of course, figuring out who we work with, because when I say brokerage, we are talking about not originating the loans ourselves, but we will work with lenders, and these lenders will award us with a brokerage account instead of just a regular account. If you were to approach that lender, you will get certain rate, and if you were to approach them through us, you will still get the same rate. But they pay us for bringing them leads, and of course, there is a lot of work involved in finding leads, working with them, figuring out who's the best lender for them. So we are focusing on promotion, marketing. We are also focusing on working and building our lenders database. And obviously, we are also working on systems. So those are the three things that will take us to that level. So now, why are we focusing on lending or brokerage, lending brokerage as our business? Because I'm already a lender. I'm already a hard money lender. So I already have people coming to us for uh, for hard money loans. So as soon as hard money loan is, I mean, as soon as they are finished fixing the house, I would say 50% of the people are looking to refinance that property into a long-term loan and rent that property on the market. So now, when they refinance it, that's when I would say 80% of the people are going for DSCR exit. So as an investor, you have two options. Okay. When you are trying to refinance a property, if you have a W-2, you can go get a conventional loan, which will go on your credit, and you will get a 30-year loan. Or if the property makes at least 1% or more in rent on the amount you paid to purchase that property, or uh, 75% of the market value. For example, what I mean by this sentence is, if the property is worth 200,000, the 75% is 150, and the 1% that I'm talking about should be based on the 150 valuation, not the 200,000, because the lenders are looking for DSCR to be equivalent to 1%. What does DSCR stand for? Service coverage ratio. Okay. So if the property is worth 200, you can get a loan up to 150 on it. And if you are renting a minimum of 1500, that means your debt service coverage ratio, or DSCR, is equal to 1. And 1% is enough in most states to cover your mortgage payments. Okay. So that's what the lenders are looking for. So now I want to tell someone who has W-2 this very important information. When I was in my W-2, I always believed that conventional loans always have a better term compared to a DSCR loan. But now that I'm a DSCR lender, I actually found out that you are getting better interest rate than a conventional loan. And rent should be at least 2K per month. Not, I'm saying rent should be 1% of your loan amount. Doesn't have to be what the house is worth. Yes, if you needed a loan for 200K, yes, you're right. If it's minimum 2000, you will be able to get DSCR. If your rent is, say, 1,700, we can still give you a loan for 170,000 on that same house. Okay. Even if you can qualify for 200,000 loan, doesn't mean you will get it because of your DSCR. If your DSCR is based on 1,700 per month, which is lower than 1% in that case. So great question though. Going back to, so if you are dealing with conventional loan versus DSCR loan, there is one major difference, and that is your conventional loans are reported on your personal credit versus your DSCR loans are oftentimes not reported on your credit, and they tend to be non-recourse loans. What I mean by that is, can you guys still hear me? Can someone type one in the chat if I'm audible? Okay, okay, perfect. Thanks, Patrick. So I think Jada got dropped off. She'll be back. So, and as of today, DSCR lenders are very aggressive and they are giving out better interest rate than conventional. So less interest rate and no personal liability on the loan is a huge thing for an investor. Okay. So remember, even if you can get conventional loan, doesn't mean you should. Okay. Always check with Jada about your DSCR quote. Okay. You need to make sure you get your DSCR quote and compare the interest rate with your conventional before you proceed. Okay. And we have some amazing lenders that are giving out. As of today, we are still getting rates in the sixes, in 6%, I mean, below 7%, which is very rare. Okay. So for Jada and I, the plans are to focus on our lending brokerage because it is a great extension for me personally as a hard money lender to grow into this business. Because instead of, so when a hard money lender who wants to build his or her rental portfolio, what they do is they're going to get a loan from me, fix the property, and then they are going to go get another loan with a DSCR lender. So if I am a hard money lender and a DSCR lender, I can get two loans out of the same person. That's why I want this business. Okay. That's why I like this business. So for me, a it is a combination of where I currently am at, what I'm currently doing, what is my next lowest hanging fruit. And for me, that is DSCR brokerage. Okay. For you, it could be like if you are an Airbnb operator with multiple properties. I'm just giving you an example. For someone who is an Airbnb operator and managing properties for other people or for themselves, a minimum of 10 properties, I would say just a random number. Then for that person, the natural business to get into would be a cleaning business. Why? Because you already have 10 clients that you can get tomorrow, right? Because you have 10 properties to clean every week. You can keep maybe two or three ladies on your payroll and keep them busy on a regular basis. It is possible. So I'm not saying you should get into cleaning business, but I'm just giving you an example. Okay. And by all means, there are 1,000 other extensions. For example, if you're managing, I know a friend who is managing 100 Airbnb. For him, he can start offering design services, hire a designer, start offering design services. Because if you have that many clients, I'm sure you're going to get 5 to 10 clients that, uh, okay, we can look at your deal, Gloria, shortly. So this is what I'm talking about. For you to think about 2025, you need to realize it needs to be a combination of your passion, your personality, your capability, uh, your skill set, and where you are in life today, what it is that you are doing, and what makes the most sense to do right away. So,
Add on to that as well.
yeah,
I know Pace is also telling people in Owners Club and in Sub 2 the same thing, kind of like what you're saying. We were saying, hey, do have the goal and then see in the future how you can kind of add something adjacent to that. So I know Pace is talking to some people about like affiliates and stuff, but when he's talked to us before about planning your week, and he's like, whenever I'm planning my week, if I'm running a raising private capital Zoom, he's like, I'm doing multiple raising capital. I'm also using the CRM, and I'm showing people what kind of CRM I'm using, or what kind of different programs I'm using to either send LOIs or do all these different things. And he's like, I made all those things, and I'm doing this one Zoom so I could do all of them at once. And so it's kind of building upon that. Like, let's start with the beginning. What's the first thing we can do? Kind of like his thing. The first thing is like, oh, raising private capital. And then it's eventually we'll get on to, okay, now I have this CRM that I can help people with, or now I can, like what Chai said with the cleaning business and stuff. So
so absolutely. I mean, great point. So natural. Uh, so just I mean, someone said. I mean, I used to look at. So I used to be responsible for these SAP and Oracle, these ERP system implementation when I worked for oil and gas. So ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. It's just a fancy word for a enterprise-wide CRM. Okay, so you and I use Monday.com, Podio, or um, there is a bunch of CRMs out there. So for companies that are multi-billion dollar companies, for them, they use SAP, Oracle, or something like similar to that. So when I worked at oil and gas, I used to be responsible for implementation of these enterprise-wide systems like big projects. And is the same story everywhere. Okay. The moment you introduce change, because this was in, I think 2016, 17 time frame. I what was I saying?
you got into the oil
Yeah.
and gas.
So 2016 is when Schlumberger, the company I worked for, or now also called SLB, one of the largest oil and gas services company, they changed their system, I think after 80s, okay, for the first time in 2016. I worked with them since 2011, and we use this like a DOS based system. I mean, these new kids, like younger generation, will not even know what DOS is. So the DOS based system was so easy, and it was, I mean, it was bug free. It was there for years. And some of the older people that I worked with, um, I mean, just couldn't handle the change until one day we just turned off the DOS system completely. And after that, I mean, I'm just walking by everyone's desk in my team, and this older guy, and also a good friend of mine, he he's uh, he's showing me that, oh, I can do this, and I'm like, oh, how did that happen? Like, yeah, until you were struggling, like until a couple weeks ago. He's like, Chai, water flows in the direction of least resistance. That's what he said. So what that meant is he struggled to learn the system, but when we turned off, he found a way. Yes, he found a way to create his own version of solution in the new system. So I mean, I'm by now I'm sure they have had bunch of trainings and people have learned to do things the right way. But he found his own way and he created his own version of things because of that. Because work had to get done and he had to use some system. So he just created his own system. So long story short, you need to be in business and you need to do something. So you are gonna do that is naturally available, possible, and what you like. Okay. That's and find that. Like, don't wait for things to get super like uh busy, and don't wait for wait for your account to drop down to a level where now you have to start finding things and whatnot. So plan for that now, and that natural solution is always in front of your eyes. Okay, you are just ignoring it because nobody is turning off the previous system that you are in. The moment someone turns that off, then you will see it. But the idea, or if you want to go faster, and if you want to make a bigger impact in 2025, you need to see that solution today. Okay, don't wait for the life to push you in that direction and then see it. Maybe it will be too late. Maybe you will lose a lot of time. So all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to push you to see that solution early on, because 2025, every year, I mean, this is a great point to like start talking about what I'm doing in my other businesses. Like, so far I mentioned what I'm doing with Jada, but in my other businesses, this is the first time ever, like after in I mean, I've been in business 10 years. First time I can say that I am prepared for 2025. I could never say that because I never had the time, or nobody turned off the DOS system on me before. Not that this year someone turned off something. This year I just got better. I just got better at planning. So this year, for the first time, I can say that I already have a plan for 2025. Every year, I have started making the plan in January, and I started picking up in April. And then as the Q3 ends, there's time to start slowing down. And I'm not saying slowing down meaning you have to get ready for vacation mode and whatnot, which you do. But slowing down also means you need to start wrapping things up. Because when you are at the end of the year, for multiple reasons, not just vacation, for the reasons because you don't want to carry your workload from one year into another year just because you are like procrastinating or lazy or whatever the reason may be. If you start winding things down for 2024 in 2024, then you're going to start fresh, and you're also able to track your progress better. If you have like 10 projects going from 24 to 25, then you don't know really which year to allocate those revenues too. Like, I mean, I have finished so many projects from last year in this year, and my 2024 looks amazing, but really it's not amazing because I made half my revenue from last year. I mean, I'm just giving you hypothetical scenario. So you really need to be able to track your numbers from year to year. Only then can you know that whether you are making progress. Okay, if you don't track numbers, then there is no point in being a businessman. You never know whether you're successful or not. And I see that happen to so many people. Oh my God. Just that is the one most common thing where people fail, is not tracking their numbers or not having KPIs at all. So in my case, I love I love to be in my books every day. And by books, I mean accounting books, like your bookkeeping. So if you don't even have a bookkeeper, then we have a bigger problem. If you don't have a book, you don't have a business. I'll tell you that. If you don't have a book and you're making money, that means you're probably, it's just a hobby today. real business is always boring. Okay, always. And I mean, I listened to a podcast few years ago on Bigger Pockets. I'm sure it's there. Uh, Most boring way to success or something like that. So some guy who was talking about, I mean, you need to make your business very boring. Only when it's boring, it's making a lot of money without your presence. Because every day you are doing the same thing. Oh, marketing, leads, loan creation, servicing, sunset. Every day you are doing the same thing, same thing. And when you do the same thing, you can actually hire people for it very easily. Then, because they don't need your direction, they don't need much direction when the scope is so repetitive. Okay. So that's why, like, if everything is like exciting all the time, that could mean that you're gambling on too many things. Like, oh, I bought this property, I don't even know if it's going to sell, but then, oh, it sold 100 grand over. If you, I mean, that's a big surprise, right? So that means you could have lost $100,000 and you would not even know that. So knowing what you're going to make, planning your strategies, and then jumping into it and make it the most, I mean, the challenging and the exciting part should be the planning. Once you plan properly, allocate proper resources, you can actually just watch the whole movie unwind the whole, like, throughout the year. And then once you are successful once, you can do that on a different scale, on a bigger scale. I mean, people who manage billion-dollar companies or CEOs of Apple, Google, Microsoft, I mean, they cannot, I mean, they also have 24 hours in a day. They are nothing special. They're just planning better. They're just 100 times, or if not 1,000 times better than you and I. So again, I can't stress more about planning. And if you haven't planned already, I will take these last 10 days of the year just for planning. That's it. If you are going out like 5 of the 10 days, then take the other 5 days. Whatever you can get, I mean, the more time you dedicate to planning, the better you are going to be, period. So, with that being said, I want to discuss with you or share with you guys what I'm doing in my other businesses. One of them is hard money lending, which is the front and center for all, I mean, compared to all other businesses I'm involved in. That is my main focus. So 2024 is when we actually set up a lending company, like just this year. And it took us, I mean, like many other years before that, we started planning in January. So March is when we actually got our first loan. April is when I called my first banker. May, June is when I actually got my first credit line. Until then, we were just pumping money out of pocket, and it was getting stressful because we were starving other businesses by using that money. So we really needed bank's money. So that happened in May, June timeframe. So even after that, we were able to do $10 million in loans until December. We are, I mean, almost hitting exact $10 million mark for this year. So if I had this in hand in January, and again, doing $10 million in loans may sound very intimidating to a lot of people, but it's really not. $10 million is equal to 40 loans. Okay. I mean, we do these calls, I mean, 40 to 50 loans. We do these calls. Like, this is my, like, Jada and I run this community, but we do the same call in Sub2, we do the same call in Gator. So we are well marketed. We've been doing this last 4 years, right? So going up to 40 loans is not very challenging when you are well marketed. And then people like Jada are so amazing, like they will market the heck out of our company, and that puts it in front of so many people. So again, we have good infrastructure because that's why we got here. But now, like we had one banker this year, middle of the year, that came on board, versus for 2025, yes, Erin, absolutely, she is. Erin said Jada is an awesome marketer. And I mean, I 100% agree. I mean, she's my rock these days. I depend on her for everything promotion, marketing related. So, uh, yeah, thank you, Erin, for saying that. For 2025, now I have four banks. Out of the four banks, I have two banks already confirmed, I'm sorry, three confirmed. And we are going to start with four times more money on January 1st, instead of what we did is, I mean, we had one fourth money. We started halfway through the year. So with the infrastructure we have, our goals are to grow at least 3 to 4 times in 2025. And on top of all that, we also signed a partnership with Pace. So Pace is working on an amazing marketing strategy himself. So if we can generate 40 loans in 1 year with like our efforts, Jada's efforts, and I mean all the people that are working with us, think about what we can do with Pace. So for the first time, that, like I said, again, I want to repeat this, and it's okay to take 5, 10 years. But if you're on this call today, listening to my experience, I want you to take one thing away from this is planning is the most important thing for your business. Okay. Everything else will fall in place because you planned. I mean, Jada marketed today's call as if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that sentence is so like cliched and it's used everywhere, but it cannot be more true if you really look at it and try to learn the meaning of what it means and talk to people who have failed because of not planning, such as myself. I mean, I'm not saying I won't say I have failed, but I can say I could have done better if I planned better in the last 10 years. 100%. And again, things take time for everyone, but if you're listening to this, I want you to plan. And these are the things you need to plan for. Okay. Let me just share a spreadsheet and we can write things down. So,
Love it.
and help me out here. If you, let's make this for everyone. Okay.
Does anybody feel like they've done what Chai was talking about, where you kind of start planning and feeling like, okay, January, now I'm motivated. Now let me see what I'm going to do with the rest of my year. Or do you guys tend to actually do it before then and do it in December or November? Like, okay, cool. This is, last quarter. All right. This is how the first quarter, at least of next year, is going to go. Put a 1 in the chat if you're more of I'm going to plan in the first quarter, and put a 2 in the chat if you're like, I'm going to plan before, try to get ahead. I'm usually a 1, but this I am a 2, and I am very proud of it. Nice. Aaron said usually right after Thanksgiving. And Gloria. Nice. Go, guys. That's awesome. I'm so glad you guys are in this call. This is exactly the kind of people that I want to be around more than anything. Alex is a 1. We're gonna get to a 2, Alex, at this. Patrick, a 2. Yeah. Let's go. And I have some Yes, we have some exciting and some fun ideas for a lot of different things next year. I'm really excited. And like Chai said, I'm going to take the next 10 days to plan all of them and make sure that we have good systems for these calls and that we're promoting it well and that we're as many people as possible. Gloria, we will get to your deal if you're still here. Wait, you are still here. You commented. Thank you. Does anybody have anything they want to add to what Chai was saying earlier?
So I'm just gonna write these things and then we will go through it one by one. And I mean, I'm gonna write it
Yeah, that's good.
because this is more relevant to real estate guys.
Identify your skill sets, identify your passion, identify your goals and or mission. Have private money lenders or hard money lenders on your speed dial. And do you want to build active? Do you want to build an active or passive business?
So we'll organize these as we go, but let's just put it on paper, whatever we can.
I'm excited to see what you're going to do, Gloria. You said you're excited for us, but man, I see you everywhere. I'm so glad that I was in Texas earlier in the year to meet you because you are on it. You go from like east to west, north to south, all in that state, which is so long. It's crazy. But if you don't mind unmuting, I would love for I don't think that you really introduced yourself here. And I want people to know what you're doing because you started with me when I was the wholesaling business before and you were a caller for us and you were really, really consistent and it was awesome. And then from there, you ended up going into your own deals and starting your own stuff. So I also don't fully remember if you're doing co-living or if you're doing flipping, like what is it that you unmuted. Perfect. Go for it, Gloria.
Okay.
I'm Corpus Christi.
Say that one more time.
I have to travel all the way to Houston, half hour. Can you hear me?
A little bit.
Let me take off my head. I'm traveling.
We can hear you better.
Okay. Because I live near I live closer to Corpus Christi. I have to travel 2.5 hours to Houston, to San Antonio, to New Braunfels to do meetups. And I co-host one in Corpus also. But I'm still doing the challenges and trying to get better at underwriting. And but co-living is what I want to get into.
Nice.
And then this year for 2025, a partner and I, we want to open up or run a property management business for co-living, specializing in co-living. So we're going to start in Texas first, and we're going to do it to our community first also.
That's interesting. I haven't heard other than Pat Split of property management specializing in co-living.
Well, they do the managing of the like at marketing and stuff like that. And we're going to take over and do the property management of getting all the calls of things and onboarding people when they first arrive. And even if it's just a co-living.
That's cool. I think that's a great idea.
And
Okay.
I love traveling, so I don't mind going everywhere.
Gloria is everywhere. I see her almost always. So, okay. Going back to our plan, so I would do it somewhat like this. I mean, if you have not identified what strategy you're going to use, that's okay. Okay. Because defy a strategy you want to start with or grow. So if you look at yourself, because lot of the actions related to planning for the next year are really about introspecting. You, of course, you need to do research and find out what works in the market and what doesn't. But more so, you have to look within than outside. So your own skill sets, your own passion, what drives you? I mean, can I start and grow a cleaning business? I probably can, but do I want to? Probably not. Because I don't know. First of all, in like a lot of that business is with Hispanics, and I don't speak a word of Spanish. Simple, like there is no marriage between the like skill set and the passion. So find that marriage. I'm good at numbers, and lending makes sense because I've been in business for 10 years, so I understand how to protect a business from liability standpoint. So that's a great marriage. I'm good at numbers. I understand how to manage liabilities. So banks naturally respect me for those two things because it's a great marriage of my skill set and passion. So those are probably the top things, and those skill sets and passions are going to change from year to year, because today I'm not offering anybody commercial lending. I got a project yesterday to do $12 million commercial loan, because a lot of my friends, especially in the Indian community, own gas stations, motels, truck stops. I mean, all these businesses are heavily uh, managed or owned by Indians. So naturally, a lot of my Indian friends who are in business can bring me a lot of commercial deals. And my goal is to get to $100 million company for our lending company. That's our like long term, not long term, mid term goal, like 3 to 5 years goal. So if I do 10 commercial deals, I'm at 100 million, like that. And it's possible. I mean, but the thing is, for me to get to 100 million, I need to park 20 to 30 million dollars of cash at the bank as deposits. And of course, I personally don't have 20, 30 million to park. But one of the ways to get there is build a private fund. And our fund is only at around 2, 3 million range right now. So even though my passion or my mission is to get to 100 million and I have a skill set, I'm just lacking resources today. Okay. So I guess that's one other thing we need to.
with the youth. Yeah.
You have the resources needed.
Find something that is a good.
Like a marriage or combination. A good marriage is not the best word to use, but it's okay.
Oh, no, marriage seems like a good word.
Okay. I mean, I'm thinking of something I'm not able to recall, but I think. Do you have the resources needed?
Identify your skill sets and passion. Find something that's a good marriage between those two, what you're skilled at and what you're passionate about. And do you have the resources needed? And is your strategy in line with your goals or life mission in general?
Because someone who just does not enjoy being an entrepreneur or being a hustler all the time, just, I mean, their life goal, and I see miserable people in the business world more than happy people. I mean, Jada and I were talking about how, I mean, our personalities match like yesterday for over 40 minutes because we are just happy in general. Like I don't need a person, a specific person, or like alcohol or a vacation or anything for that matter to be happy. I'm just happy naturally. I mean, I do drink alcohol. I do have a lot of friends. I do go on vacation. But those are like, I mean, those are just things of interest that I want to try and experience. And so I'm very like, I think I spend half of what I spend in general on experiences in general. That's who I am. I love new experiences. I don't like anything materialistic. I don't have fancy cars or fancy, like I don't need a fancy flight to go anywhere. I'm just fine with like Spirit, Frontier. I'm not a high maintenance person at all. And I'm very proud about that. You cannot change my mind. But there are certain things that I have for convenience. I spend money on nannies, house help, because I want to make my wife's life easier, and in turn my life easier. Because every time she calls my name, I want our house help to respond. That's a joke that I have in my house. Like every time my wife calls Chai, I've told Miss Letty to go because that's she's my replacement. So it's just a funny way to say it, but that's what I spend money on. Okay, because I'm on a mission. I really want to hit it big in business. Not because I want to be a rich guy. I'm happy with like whatever I have now. Even if I just sustain this, I'll be the happiest person in the world. I still am. And even without all this, I'll be the happiest person in the world. But my happiness has boundaries. Okay. And if I cross those boundaries, I will be miserable. Okay. The freedom of being able to do what I'm doing is something that I protect the most. Okay, that's why I have good habits. I'm building more and more good habits. That's why I'm taking care of my family, because without my family I will be miserable for sure. So things that will make you miserable, do you know them? Okay, that's why it is so important to know your skill set and passion. Only then can you find the marriage of the two. Because someone you don't like, if you don't uh, have a system in your own life, the life and the world will build a system for you, and you will not like that. It is, I mean, people, I mean, system is a fancy word, but there is always a system everywhere you go. Okay, uh, even when like there was a stone age, I'm sure there was a system. Even in the jungle, even if it means survival of the survival of the fittest, that is the system. So whenever you think you don't have a system, that means someone else built a system around you. Because you always have something to offer, and if you don't offer it on your own, people will take it from you. So, and you will not like it, and then you will not get compensated fairly, and then that's why people stay behind. Because I know I can sell something I have for higher price, but I haven't built a system to sell that skill set for a higher price. And the simplest example of that, and what I'm really referring to, is people who are, I mean, who tell me for years that they want to get into real estate. And I keep telling them in every conversation, at least 5 times, even if it's a 5-minute conversation, I make sure to tell people that you need to go out to networking events. Only then you are allowed to complain that you're not getting deals. You cannot just come up to me and complain, oh, I'm not getting. How did you get that? Like, I mean, every time I get a 70% minus repairs deal, they're like, how did you get that? I was like, I just go to these events. And oh shit, I should go to these events too. I'll be there next time. And then 6 months later, same conversation happens again. So my point is, you never want to take any efforts, and never wanna, I mean, never want to sacrifice anything you're doing. And not that they're doing something like big. They just, I mean, some of the Indian friends I have, they want to play cricket on the weekends. Okay. And nothing wrong with that. But they can skip one of these things to go for some of these events and build more or bigger network in general. So that's why they are not able to, like, they have pushed themselves to become and become an investor, but now they are going to keep getting these 80-90% deals, and they are going to keep struggling when they haven't planned. I mean, their plans were to really make it big in real estate, but they are never going to get there, because one advice that I offer every time, they neglect that every time. So if you take advice, I at least try to implement it 4 to 5 times. Okay, this is my rule for my kids. Okay, if I'm telling you, okay, you need to try this new dish called Vietnamese pho, okay, or Sichuan like noodles, or like something spicy, or something new, different that you haven't tried, and you don't like it, you need to try it 4 to 5 times. And even after the fifth time, if you still tell me you don't like it, then I'm not going to force you. That's my rule for my kids. And I think that should be the rule for everyone in their life. Something that puts you out of your comfort zone is that one thing. I mean, it's just like working out, and people say you work out for 21 days and it'll become a habit. It's the same thing with food or going to events. It's not boring. Actually, you go to events, and that's my, like, if you ask me, hey, let's go out and have let's go out drinking, or let's go hang out at a bar, I'll take you to a real estate event. They almost always happen in a bar. You can drink there. Most of the times the drinks are free. Okay, that's my concept of party these days. So I mean, I can keep talking about this forever, but I feel like one of you guys. I mean, is Erin still there? There? Let me see. Can I can I bring you on, Erin, and discuss your scenario? Would you be open to that?
Yeah.
So with this framework, I mean, if it helps, if you're okay with it, we can put your details here and see if we can help you. Would you be okay with that?
Sure.
Okay, so let's identify your skill sets and passion. What is it that you can say about yourself that, okay, I'm really good at this? And then you've heard that from your friends, from your family, from people you know professionally, have always said that, oh, Aaron's a numbers guy, or Aaron's a go-getter, or Aaron's a really good sales guy. What is it that you would say that you've heard all your life about you?
I would say probably numbers guy. I was a mortgage lender for 14 years.
Oh, there you go.
I've been a real estate agent for 12 years. So the marketing, the numbers,
Okay.
networking.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say those are my skill sets.
Okay. So what do you do currently?
For a career,
Yeah.
real estate agent.
Okay. And how long you've been an agent for?
12 years.
Okay. And you were a mortgage broker before that?
Yes.
Cool. I want to chat about that.
So what made you switch from mortgage broker to real estate agent, and why?
Primarily it was there's more money in being a real estate agent, less transactions for more money. But I found myself as a mortgage lender helping more agents straighten out their contracts,
Hmm.
you know, to make them attractive in the eyes of an underwriter.
Oh, I see. But you said agents as in real estate agents?
Yeah, right. And so,
Like
I
their
would come.
borrowers didn't have the right documents and stuff for underwriters?
Yes. Yep. And I would always be coming home and telling my wife, I can't believe these agents are so stupid and so
Yeah.
clueless and they're making so much money. And my wife's always telling me, why don't you just get your license and do that? And we had that conversation for several years. Then we saw the downturn in the market in
Yeah.
12, 13. And that's when I just pulled the trigger and I said, you know what? I'm going to just get my license. I couldn't deal with the Frank Dodd Act. It made our industry really tough
Yeah.
in the beginning.
So where are you based out of?
North Idaho.
Okay. So mortgage broker, you were doing conventional VA, FHA type stuff, like you were licensed in MLS.
Yes.
But did you ever do DSCR?
No.
Okay, that's one thing where you can actually make a decent money, and also the loan officers on the lender side will do a lot of work for you as well. So
DSCR wasn't really a thing
back then.
when I was exiting that business.
Oh, okay. But I'm pretty sure. I mean, not pretty sure. I know so that because of DSCR, mortgage brokers are making more money, or they're doing well compared to what they were previously.
Oh yeah, no, the industry has changed dramatically. I still have a lot of buddies that are lenders, and the compensation plans are a lot different than they were.
Yeah. No,
But I went through the no doc, the ninja loans, the stated income. I was in that whole. If you've seen the movie The Big Short, that's where I was.
Wow. Crazy. So have you figured out what you want to do for 2025?
Yes.
So what is your goal and why?
So I want to be earning 25,000 minimum per quarter in net income by PML lending.
Oh, by PML lending.
Yes.
So Are you part of Sub 2 or Gator or any of these communities?
Both.
Okay. So who do you want to lend to, and are you looking to do hard money loans, or are you looking to do uh
I've been doing I've been doing primarily Gap. I've done 9 since
oh
early
wow.
July. And so
Okay.
I've been doing Gap, second position.
And where are you doing that? Which states?
I've done a few here. I'm doing one currently in Georgia, one in, we just closed on the sale of one in Ohio actually yesterday.
Nice. So how many of those 9s have closed out completely?
I have that right here. Six.
Oh wow, that's very good. And then what is an average return annualized?
I am averaging
Or
about
what are you charging, for example? Let's talk about that.
the majority are about 24%
Okay. Annualized or flat.
flat. No, I'm sorry, annualized.
Okay.
But they 3 of them were 3-month deals,
Okay.
and all of them I get monthly interest.
Okay. That's very nice.
So I don't do anything with a balloon.
Okay. Yeah, always. So this is so important for everyone who's listening. If you want to be a PML, you make sure, again, you don't have to because it's you. I mean, you are the one calling shots, but you need to charge monthly interest for multiple reasons. One, because you don't want it to pile up, and then just because you're in the second position, first of all, and second positions can get wiped out if the first position has to foreclose. So for you to receive by receiving interest monthly, you're gonna get compensated monthly, and your loan amount stays the same that you lent on the property. And on top of that, you get a chance to talk to your borrower. That's probably the more important thing than actually receiving the interest. Because when you have invested money with someone, and hope you know how to protect your money by using the right paperwork, but
Yep.
let's assume you already do. And when your money is invested, you want to make sure you touch base with your borrowers on a regular basis, which is at least once a month. That way you know what they are doing. That way you get a chance to talk to them. Hey, how's it going on your first position? Have you been paying interest? What is the progress of your project? What is happening? Can you send me some pictures? Can you share the details if things are going wrong? What is happening? How can I help? Because as a lender, whether it's a first position or second position, you automatically become a partner in the deal because your money is on the line. Even though you can like take it off of your borrower if they default and sell it in the market and recover your money, you don't want to be going in that direction. You want to mentor your borrowers to do the right thing at the right time in the right way. So amazing job. 6 closed out of 9 is huge because a lot of people that I meet, I mean, they have 9 out and even one, I mean, uh, even a single one hasn't closed out. So great job on that. But yeah, for you to get to 25,000 per quarter, okay. So let's say you want 24% per year, divide that by 4 quarters. So you want to make 6% quarterly, which means your 25,000 has to be 6% of your total investment Divide that by 0.06. So you need to have about $416,000 out at any point.
Yep.
So have you planned on that much money, or have you raised money or freed up from your other investments to be ready to deploy that much?
No, I'm about halfway there.
Okay.
I'm working on, and I talked a little bit, I asked actually last weekend a little bit about the business credit stacking,
Okay.
which is going to be a strategy. And then I want to shorten the terms. Like a lot of the ones I've done are 6-month terms, but I have done several that have been 30-day or even 3-month terms. So I feel if I can do more of the shorter term, I can increase that number a little faster without as much capital.
But do you have to increase it by making money and then using that money to build your capital? Or do you want to go out in the market and raise that money from other individuals?
I would be open to going into the market and partnering up with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that seems like the best way to scale.
Yeah. And that's also going to help you build your list of private lenders.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, really, when people call PML, it's a very loose term because PML can be an investor in your PML business or a PML lending themselves. So in this scenario, just remember you need over four to 500,000 to make 25,000 per quarter with your numbers. So how you get to that number, and if you get that money from outside, then you need to increase that amount, because now out of the 24%, you're probably going to pay your PMLs 10% minimum.
Right.
So this number will have to grow for you to, because now you can't make just 6%, you need to make probably 10%. Oh, sorry. You make less than 6% per quarter.
And that's something I need to work on probably in the first quarter of this year, is expanding my network of PMLs to partner up. I've been doing all this solo, but I definitely am seeing the limitations here.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Have you been posting about what you're doing or the deals that you're doing?
No, so that is actually on my goal sheet for 25, is to be posting into the groups a lot more than I mean, I do, but it's very sporadic.
Mhm.
But I need to get more consistent, and my goal is to be posting 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah, would you guys want, if we did maybe like a 30, maybe 1 hour Zoom in the weekday sometime, I can do it consistently. It can be a little accountability Zoom for social media.
Yes.
That would be awesome. And you, Jada, you are super good at that. Your stuff is always on my feed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Good to know.
Yeah, but I would love to do that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll post about it in the group, because I hear about, especially if you're actually doing deals, that's where, like, as long as you got like the first deal, you can milk it. You can milk it all you want. I know someone who, Brad Lewis, actually in Houston, he did a flip recently, and he's done 15 reels from just that one flip. Just
Oh, yeah.
lesson. This is the lesson we learned, and it could be the same thing. And you've done 9 already. So
I have years of content right there.
oh,
So your 200,000 that's currently out, it's all your personal funds. Am I right?
Yes.
Or those are raised funds.
are those your personal or raised?
No, that's personal.
Okay. for you to do this business off of raised funds, you need a minimum of 700,000 put out, because guess what? You're gonna make 3.5% by lending it at 24% and deducting the 10%, you're gonna actually take home 14%. 14 is 3.5 per quarter. So if you're taking 3.5 home and your goal is to make 25 per quarter, you need 700,000 out on the street.
I guess that's where I'm going to need the help then, right there.
So you need this. So
Yep.
have PMLs on speed dial, raise money. So you need to start. How much are you attending your local meetups? How often?
We don't really have any where I'm at.
Okay.
We've tried to set up a couple over the summer, and the turnout has been like myself and 2 other people,
Oh my God.
which is funny because the county I live in is 190,000.
Oh,
And I talked to a guy in southern Idaho that lives in a town of probably 2,500 people. And he said he has meetups of 15 to 20 every other week. And I was like,
wow.
how is that possible? But, you
Yeah.
know, I'm right on the border of Washington. I'm also a licensed agent in Washington. And I think that there's probably more opportunity for meetups there. I just haven't gone into that market to look.
Okay. So good thing is you're focused on PML and you have a mortgage broker experience. That means you know the paperwork needed, the risks involved, how to protect yourself, and more so how to like talk the mortgage language. Okay. So questions, a couple questions. Have you been charging any points on your money?
I have not.
Have you tried or considered?
Nope, I haven't.
Because one way to uh, grow your revenue or get closer to your goals is start charging points and fees
Okay.
and see if it sticks. Because if you are regular and maybe you can reduce your interest rate and make more money upfront in points and fees. That way, even if their project goes down, your money, I mean, you made money already. Because second position is hard business. It's it's a risky business. So you need to make more and make that money early.
Is that fairly normal when you're doing second position to charge points?
Probably not, but there is very limited people doing second position.
Yeah.
And of those limited people, very limited are actually successful. And you are one of them. So pat yourself on the back for that. I'll give you that for sure. But and we will work with you when one of our borrowers need second position. And we can give
okay.
you some information. So we'll work with you on a regular basis.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
So what else? Let's see. So you have the resources needed. Yeah. Need to build PML list. And then attending these online meetups, such as what we are in right now, is also good for next year. I mean, you can also plan to, there is Atlanta guys doing this type of Zoom, like Andrew, his Instagram handle is Sub2Drew, Andrew Ariaga from Houston. He does a Houston accountability Zoom on, I think, I can't remember when. So you should attend those Zooms and also meet other people. So, if you can't go in person, you should always be communicative and engaged in all the Sub2 Zooms and all the online Zooms that are available to you?
Probably in 3 to 4 a week right now, including yours.
Yeah. So how's your real estate business? I mean, a real estate agent business. How many deals a month, a year, whatever? How
I
are you doing there?
I'm pretty consistently between 30 and 38 a year.
Wow, that's a great number. So
But I need to increase that as well. That's also part of my goals.
who is assisting you with like paperwork, contracts, all of that?
Um, just myself.
If I gave you a an assistant that can do your books and your contracts, will that help you?
For
For
my real estate end.
yeah. I mean anything, everything, not just real estate. I'm talking
Yeah.
about my brother runs, I mean owns an accounting firm, and he also manages a lot of contracts and stuff for us. Um, so they do a lot more than that. They also have access to all the accounts. They send wires and everything for us. But again, that I mean, we do that for some clients. Doesn't we usually do it after a certain level of trust is built. But
Mhm.
before that, you can have him do your contracts and your so we can have one person dedicated to you for I mean you for a lot less than you think. And you can have someone part-time or you can get someone full-time. But you do need to start delegating because you are at a I mean 38 deals a year is a lot.
Mhm.
And if you are doing all the contracts, if you are doing all the paperwork, then you need to uh, take that off your plate because that is a $10 an hour employee job.
Yeah, I have an internal TC in my brokerage.
Okay.
So a lot of the, I do all my own contracts, but as far as organizing and
So you
checking
have
for
okay.
compliance and all that kind of stuff,
Oh,
that I've got that covered.
okay. And
But
what about
I would
books?
definitely be interested in a conversation just to, there's always things that you can learn from other people, and
Yeah.
always hacks that, I find different hacks like almost every week on things
Yeah.
that end up taking a lot longer, but you can find a hack that shortens that time frame quite a bit.
So we specialize in real estate specific bookkeeping and real estate specific things because obviously he manages all my businesses and we have I mean brokerage, lending, investment firm, very creative investment firm, and all kinds of other things that we do. So with us, you don't have to train the VA. The VAs come trained, or if they don't have training, we can provide the support instead of you having to sit down every time. So that's what we. I mean, currently he is more focused on building bookkeeping, but if bookkeeper also needs to do other things, we can always talk about that.
Okay. Yeah, that'd
So,
be great.
but you do, I mean, I can see that you need a bookkeeper. And I mean, I'll show you certain things in bookkeeping on a private call, how we manage it. I usually show my books pretty openly to most people. Most only because this is streaming live. I don't want to show it on the call, but if it was just private call, I didn't mind showing it in front of
Yeah,
everyone.
that I would love that.
And yeah, our books, I mean, some CPAs actually learn from our books who don't have experience in real estate, literally, because we have all kinds of creative things on our books. Especially when you have a wraparound mortgages, it's very hard to build the right books around that because there is a lot of moving parts, especially the profit that is not realized needs to be managed on your books and stuff like that. But great job. What about your systems? Like, do you have any system for your PML business? I'm sure you have it for your agent business.
Yeah, right now I'm just running Excel.
Excel, yeah, which is fine. Like, 9 deals, you're okay there. But start moving it to some sort of simple CRM.
Yeah.
I would say like try monday.com. I love it. Personally, I use it for all our businesses. We just moved our lending business out of Monday into Mortgage Automator because it's growing pretty fast. And we are trying to go towards, I mean, because we are getting partners like Pace Morby and we our goal is to become 100 million company, which we can basically sell to bigger lenders.
That's awesome.
But for that we need, otherwise Monday was just fine.
Now I've set up a CRM for my real estate business that is AI, and it's going to be I'm about 80% built out on it, but I'm going to launch it at the beginning of the year, and it should be automating most of the day-to-day stuff that I do.
Okay.
So that'll take a lot of time out of what I'm spending in my real estate business, so I can focus a little bit more on the PML business too.
Nice. So what about your, I mean, what about your life mission? I know it's a very broad question, but what is your goal? Like, I mean, it can be anything. It can be, hey, I want to
No,
provide life for.
I've got it dialed in. So where I live is cold,
Yeah.
dark. We have a lot of snow,
Yeah.
but it's like that from October to April.
Yeah.
And I grew up here. I've lived here pretty much my whole life, and I'm just getting so tired of it. I want to be able to live here in the summertime, live somewhere else, or even just take a month or two off and go somewhere like
Nice.
Florida or Arizona, or somewhere south where it's warm.
Yeah.
And I can't, as a real estate agent, I can't really do that unless I've got that income coming in from somewhere else. So
Perfect.
that's where I'm trying to build this business up, to allow me to escape for a couple months out of the year. The other thing, I've got 2 daughters, 16 and 20, that are both very interested in investing. My 20-year-old is already starting a wholesale business.
Wow.
And I would love to encompass all of us working together in an investment type business, whether it be funding, building out buy and holds together, create a company where it's all of us.
That's awesome.
If she wants to learn anything about DSCR, she should join like Jada for a few hours a week. Jada, will you be okay with that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to help.
Because Jada is probably similar age and she can mentor her if she can use it, and we can always use more people and more leads. We have a list of lenders set up in our business. It's basically just plug and play. More work is promoting, more work is bringing leads. The rest will be taken care of.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would love to like have more younger people join us.
Yeah, I've made it mandatory that both my girls read Rich Dad Poor Dad when they were super young.
Yes. So so good. And yeah, I mean that also, I mean, I was impressed when I read that book the first time.
Yeah.
I've read a bunch of other books. That was not my first book, but that is definitely a memorable.
Yeah, my oldest reads Think and Grow Rich every
Yeah.
year. So that's kind of my major goals right now, is to.
Does your wife work too, or?
No, she's spent the last 20 years raising our daughters.
Yeah, that's
But
good.
she's also very interested in building out a sober living model.
Nice.
As well as wholesaling. She wants to partner up with my daughter and start doing wholesaling.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really a family, everybody's
Yeah.
with my 16-year-old's not super passionate about it yet, but she will be.
Yeah. And she has to live her life. That's the
That's
prime.
right. That's what she keeps telling me.
Most like memorable time of my life is between 16 and 22, 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. But yeah, man, this is amazing what you, I mean, I loved everything what you just said. I mean, you're building a family business and everybody is involved. You guys want to enjoy the family aspect of things through business, which is, I mean, then everybody has a task, everybody has a reason to hang out with each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's amazing. Great job, how you are building it. But anything we can do to help, I will tell you only three things, just based on personal experience. Start building, like if even if someone wants to lend you $20,000, use that money instead of your own $20,000. You will find another opportunity within the next few days for your own money. And the more people bring you, I mean, people will give you their money and say, okay, let's test it for 1 year, and then I will invest it somewhere else at a higher interest rate. But guess what? When they give you the money, the next year they have more money coming from their job or whatever else. So they have to worry about that money, and they have already forgotten the money they gave you because you have been servicing their debt very diligently. So people never come back to ask for money once you do the right thing, when you do the right thing. So building that PML list is probably should be your top priority, top most priority, I would say, to get to that number quickly. 700,000 is your magic number.
Am I looking for people that have been lending for a lot longer than me, or am I looking for people that are just starting out to build that list?
It doesn't have to be someone that is looking to lend. It can be just your friends and family, and you
Oh,
can
yeah.
tell them, hey, build some sort of presentation, your bio, what you are doing. I mean, what your experience is, what your uh, business is, and then how you're offering them returns, and those returns are backed by real estate. So if you build some sort of like a 3-slide presentation, people need something to look at.
Yeah.
And even better than if you can put all that in a video format, then people, I mean, they have no reason not to watch it, because reading can be painful for some people, such as me. uh,
Reading's
but
hard, Chai.
so people are lazy, so they need to make their life easy by providing them how they, I mean, in the formats that they like. And then second, also important thing I will recommend is learn to outsource internationally and work with people that are already doing it, such as our team. And there are many people, even if you end up finding someone else, there is many people that are doing it. I think a lot of my success comes from the fact that I learned early, because you're going to learn different flavors of people. People in India are different, people in Philippines are different, people in South America. I mean, there is just different things they offer.
You're talking about like VAs?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, but VAs for your business, not just cold calling. I'm
Right,
talking about,
right.
I mean, my entire property management. I mean, we manage over 200 properties in our business. Everything is managed from Philippines. All entire accounting is managed from India. Entire uh, notes management, so the long-term notes is from Mexico and some locally. But I mean, property management can be done from Philippines without a doubt. I mean, they know I don't get involved in anything, literally. From finding tenants to sending cleaners to sending my contractors, because we have the set contractors. They go out, do the make ready, then cleaners go. Everything is handled. I mean, I don't get in anything anymore. I used to be part of it like long ago. But once you learn that, oh my God, like having a team is a blessing. Then you can have big aspirations. And if you want to grow PML, here is my like sincere advice to you. Because when you will deal with $700,000 of second position liens, it's going to be a, I don't want to use the word nightmare, but it's going to be difficult to manage. Because second positions, I mean, can be difficult to manage a lot of times.
And dude, I'm not opposed to first position. It's just everything I've found so far has been second. I would prefer first.
Correct. So that's what I'm saying. So what you probably, I mean, if your 20-year-old wants to get into lending, she can work with someone like Jada, who will show her how Jada generates leads. And when she has enough leads, then you can start diverting some of that money into first position slowly. Because that's the end game. Like once you start doing first liens, you're never going to do second liens. Because on first liens, you can charge points, fees, interest rate is 12%, but your returns are easily more than 20-24%, probably even more. So I think you should focus on second, because that's going to need more knowledge. And as your daughter brings in first is going to be 10 times easier.
Right.
Yeah. And then she can bring more leads. And if you run out of money, you can go raise money. While she's doing that, she can park those leads at DSCR lenders. And DSCR lenders are the same lenders who also provide hard money. Lot of them. Because as the hard money company grows beyond 100, 200 million, they have to start doing DSCR loans, because they start reaching the level of commercial institutional money, which is a lot cheaper, and then offer DSCR loans using it. So I think you can use, I mean, because your family is so involved, you need to use them to develop other sets of skills while you are focused on money making activities. I think those are, I mean, you're on a great track. I mean, just be careful with second position. That's all I will say.
Right.
Because one wrong investment can take up so much of your time to address that and fix that issue. I mean, we are seeing someone invested $500,000 in a 8-house portfolio that we lent first position on. The borrower defaulted, and they are going like just in rounds with attorneys, investors who will buy them out. I mean, it's a nightmare right now for them.
Jeez.
But yeah, I mean, you had 6 payoff, so you're on the right track. I think that probably comes from your mortgage lending experience. And good luck, man. I'm excited for you for next year. This is
Thank
awesome.
you. And yeah, I plug into your underwriting. I did the semester's underwriting course twice.
Yeah.
And basically the second time I just took a lot of notes, and then I spent a day or so just distilling those notes down into a check sheet.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to learn every single angle about lending, so I don't get in that situation.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is awesome. But yeah, good luck. And I hope you guys got something out of it today. And we are debating canceling the Zoom for 28th. Jada, I forgot to tell you, I'm traveling on 28th because I'll be in the flight. So that's a straight answer now.
There we go.
But if you want to do anything, by all means, let me know, and I'll send out an email to everyone that it's still happening if you tell me to. Otherwise, I'm going to send an email saying we are.
Before we go, are we able to take a quick look at Gloria's deal?
Hey, Gloria, so sorry. let's see what we have here.
We love you, Gloria. Thank you for your patience. And thank you, Aaron, for sharing all of that. I don't know about anybody else here, but for me, I love seeing the breakdowns. Like, okay, if I want to, like you were saying, if I want to make 25,000 per quarter, what does that look like? And try that. Thank you for that as well. It was very, very valuable.
Get used to running basic numbers. That's all. Underwriting is not a rocket science. Underwriting is the simple math, and a lot of people forget that. And I mean, a lot of people, I just show them, people bring me properties and they're like, oh, I got this amazing property. Uh, I'm, I'm putting my earnest money down. I'm like, okay, well, where is it? Oh, it's in Houston. So, okay, let's see the pictures. Oh, I don't have pictures yet. I was like, then how do you know it's great? Oh, because they said it's worth 300,000 and I'm getting it for 150. I was like, what if it needs 100,000 worth of work? They're like, yeah, I didn't think of that. So people are just, I mean, it's so simple sometimes. Like, are you buying it for 70% minus repairs? That is the question. That is the gold. And if it's not 70, and I understand not everyone gets 70% deals, it needs to be at least 75, 80, 85. I mean, whatever your formula is, no more than your formula. So run the numbers. That's the simplest message for 2025. And I will check spam if I got Gloria. Gloria, I don't see your deal. Did you send it today or?
Yes, about 30, 40 minutes ago.
Hmm.
And you used the email that I put in the chat, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What's your email? So maybe he can search it up.
JG, the number 4, property services.
Okay, I'm gonna text my email again.
I'll double check mine also, make sure it got sent.
Yeah, and kind of, Aaron right now just said you had to take the emotion out of the deal so you can see it clearly. And
Oh,
that is
yeah.
very true. A lot of people that I know, a lot of people in sub 2 and even Gator and myself as well, when I was first starting, I will just say with me, I saw deals and I was like,
I'm gonna be back in just 1 second.
sounds good.
It did say it wasn't sent, it's the wrong address.
Here, we put the right address in the chat right now. But yeah, a lot of people will see returns and they'll see like, oh, 20% return, of course I'm gonna do it. And for me, for instance, like the first lending deal that I did like 2 years ago, maybe 3, I was also not only like, okay, the returns are cool, but I want to know how am I doing this correctly? I went to somebody that was in Gator at the time, and just because they're in Gator doesn't mean that they know what's going on or that what they're doing. And so, but I didn't do the due diligence that I needed. I thought, okay, well, it's okay. I'll trust them instead of me learning how to do my own due diligence. And so I asked them, hey, is a license good enough to trust this guy? And the guy that I was asking said, yeah, that's fine. And it was not fine. That there's definitely more that goes into doing due diligence and vetting your borrowers and the different types of deal that you're doing. So yeah, what you said, Aaron, right there is like, hey, take the emotion out of it, take the excitement out of deals. You want to see it objectively, and then you want to actually do your own diligence and learn and do your own research on how to do these deals and how to secure yourself and how to secure other people if you're going to be working with their money. So it's just a quick tip.
Well, and the other thing too is a lot of times the borrowers come into you on the 11th hour,
Mhm.
and so they're really pushing you, and you can overlook things if you feel that you're in a rush.
Exactly. Yeah, don't let people rush you.
Hey, yes, I received the deal. Cuero, Texas, right?
That's for you, Gloria.
I'm sorry, I missed that. What's that?
This is the one in Cuero, Texas?
Yes,
Okay, and what are you buying this for?
co-living.
No, I mean, how much are you buying this for? I'm sorry.
Oh, the asking price, 399, 900. He's also negotiating to see if he wants to partner up. He's interested in what I'm doing with the co-living, but he wants to know details of how we could partner up in that.
But co-living, you are basically doing something like pad split,
Yes.
and this comes furnished.
Not yet. I have to do all of that.
Okay, I have to
I
go. Let's
can,
look at it quickly. I have to go in like couple minutes. But is this a sub two or what is the situation?
he got it sub two, so he's making the payments right now, and he was just trying to sell it. But he said he will do seller finance, or we can talk about partnering up on it.
Okay.
He's gonna sell or finance. Is he saying that he's selling it for more than what he bought it for?
I don't think it is.
What is the
I
interest
guess
rate?
I mean, he got it subject to
What is the interest rate on this?
forgot 3 point something.
But what is special about Cuero?
It's a very busy industry. There's oil field all around there.
Oh, okay.
I
So
mean,
you
y'all
have,
don't know the little towns. The little towns that we go through, they're very busy.
and there is a lot of requirement for housing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I
So
mean,
4,600 square feet,
hmm,
which means, sorry, it has 5 bedrooms currently, then
mhm.
living room and garage. So combined, I'm sure it has, I mean, you can convert this from 5 to almost 9, 10 bedrooms.
Yes, I walked it yesterday. I think I can make 8 for
8 bedrooms.
sure. And there's actually space in the back. It's a corner lot. It's huge, and I can even put 2 RVs in the back.
Oh, wow. So how big is the lot? Let's see.
Half acre.
Half acre. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you can run your numbers to see if you will get 10 tenants, that is almost 7 grand in revenue, right?
Hmm.
Gross rents.
I actually, that's kind of what I got because one of the bedrooms is really huge and it's got 2 walk-in closets and a private bathroom. The way it's set up, I tried to rent the one, and I wanted to charge 300 a week, I
300
believe,
per week.
for the couple, and then 75 a week for the other rooms.
Okay.
And then maybe a little different, maybe 800 for the other one that has a private
So
bathroom. There's 2.
what I will do for this one, Gloria, is I would partner up with the guy who bought it and start filling it up before you pay your partnership share.
Mhm.
I don't want you to start making payments before you have it all rented and proven the strategy. Because is this going to be your first one?
Yes.
Okay, so be very careful. Don't pay anything. I would tell the guy, hey, how about I just start renting by the room, and as you get tenants, you can buy the furniture for each tenant. So go slowly, manage your risk properly. Don't just jump in and pay for it because it's a small town and I personally don't have any experience. So I'm maybe telling you from a very conservative perspective. And because I know you and I care about you and I know how passionate you are, I don't want your first project to fail.
Mhm.
I want you to take it slowly. And if this gentleman has already purchased it, I'm sure they would love it if you can start filling up the rooms. So offer to help and write up a JV contract to fill up the property. And after you fill up, then you will basically sign on your partnership or buy it out.
Okay. Should I do 50-50 partnership, or how do
Yeah,
I do
if
that?
you're gonna fill it up, then you don't have to pay anything, then sure.
Okay. And if I find the money to furnish it and do the rehabs of adding the rooms and anything else that needs to be
Yeah.
fixed.
Correct. I mean, you can pay for the furniture or ask them to pay for the furniture, however you want. But if you're doing all the work, then they should pay for the entry fee and furniture.
Okay.
We
Ask
already,
them that. I mean, figure that out with them and see what their goals are.
yeah, because he already,
Okay.
because he already has this sub too, right?
Yes, he's had it for over 6 months. He's had it on the market. As soon as he got it, he threw it back on the market and he was just trying to sell it. It was at 475 is what he was trying to sell
Okay.
it on the market.
How much did he buy it for?
I don't know. I forgot to ask him that. I just know he got it at
Yeah.
so too. But I know he was trying to sell it for 475 when he started
Okay.
6 months ago.
Who is this? Do I know?
No, he's not. He's actually he's with investor homes or home investors.
Home investor. Okay. Sounds good. Hey, I'm so sorry to cut it off, but call me, Gloria. If you need anything, you have my number, right?
I believe so. I think so.
Yeah.
I'll double check.
Just text me. We'll chat privately. I have to go. I have someone working, a carpenter in one of the offices. But
Okay.
I'll
I
call you
appreciate it.
guys. Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody. Merry
Thank you
Christmas.
so much. Merry Christmas, and we will see you next
Merry
year.
Christmas.
So consider
All
28
right.
cancelled as of today.
Thank you all.
Take care. Bye. Have a good rest of the year.
Merry
Bye. Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Thank you.